Welcome back, everybody. Just Mike here. We have another cuckoo clock to work on. This one here happens to be a battery powered cuckoo clock, but it has a movement in it, so it winds the clock and also operates evidently the cuckoo side of it. This is a Citizens cuckoo clock, and I do believe they say the clock will cuckoo, but it will not keep time, or the hands don't turn. I'm not sure, so I'm gonna have to check into this. Anyway, let me show you this clock. So this is the clock. It came with the pendulum. Two fake weights are just plastic, and has the cuckoo bird in there, has the hands, has the topper, which that's all it is. It comes on and off, and this is a little bit loose, which is no big deal. That just wedges in there. And let's take a look at the inside of this clock. I did forget to tell you, this came from overseas that someone wanted me to check out, and by the time I got the package, it was pretty well crunched, and I'll put pictures in the video right here. So this is the movement. There's the battery compartment right here, and the best I can see possibly is there is some corrosion in there. Not saying that's what the problem is, but that's what I see right off. And so I'm going to have to get in here. Well, I have to get in here so I can maybe hook some power up to it and see what I can get it to do, which I have somewhere here. This fake lube battery thing. I'm going to go ahead and hook the wires up in there and see if I can get it to do something. So besides this wire was corroded off and not connected anymore, I'm going to go ahead and pull this movement out, and it takes 4 screws and the bellows and everything come out, but I have to release the bird on the front and take the hands off first. It's a plastic door, plastic hinge. There I was able to catch the wire. See, get it lifted off of there. There we go. This clock is in cuckooing mode right now, so he's not going to go in. And I don't know if I told you, this is a Citizens clock. This here clicks inside, but I'm trying to get that off of there. The hands are what we'll call, has this wedge type hand on it. If I get it off of there, I'll show it to you. This hand was as stubborn as can be. It's got these 2 slices in the barrel that you'd squeeze it and it'd come off. I oiled and oiled and oiled it. Didn't do any good, I'd swear. I finally took my little dikes, slipped underneath there, didn't cut it off. I squeezed it up against it, and then I started working it, and finally it came right off. So we have the movement loose already. And there we have it. Now I need to check in here to just see how this thing operates. Right off turning it by hand, I see nothing in here is touching your count wheel or anything else. In fact, I can lift the count wheel up and nothing is touching to hold anything. So I'm going to have to take this out. Looks like we got 3 nuts to take off, and then we can take it out and see what's going on. So here you can see our counter here isn't even touching, we'll say, the bar that's supposed to hold it, I guess is the way I'll put it. And this here is supposed to drag this up each time. It's not touching either. And by what I can see, it looks like this here needs to be bent back down to fit in there. So it's just the idea at the moment of just bending this right here to get it to fit down on, and it'll miss everything. Now, why that happened, possibly, it's hard telling. It might be because this thing was turned backwards, and when you turn your time backwards to reset the time, that normally will screw your clock up. So let me run this motor by hand again. This motor is into the Cuckoo inside. So there we actually got this white peg to catch. And that white peg is slowly turning around. I want to see if it's going to catch and be able to get that lever just below it to go to its next home. Yeah, it's hitting it, or it lifted it. So that part's working now anyway. So this lever right here lifted as that was coming around, then dropped back down where it's supposed to. And I don't know, this here might be for the Cuckoo bird to cuckoo, is what that motor's running. I don't have a deep battery at the moment, or something that's going to make it work, so I just got to kind of temporarily figure this thing out a little bit. So to show that this here is bent, it's dropped to, let's say, strike the 12 o'clock. It drops so far that this little pin that's supposed to lift this wheel, it can't even catch it. So I have to straighten this out, and I'm almost willing to bet you this is supposed to be straight all the way across. So I'm going to work with that and see what goes on. I'll probably go ahead and take it off of here so I can straighten it properly and put it back on and see what I come up with. So I went ahead and oiled this, because I got my jury rig battery system here that I can hook up to this, and the Cuckoo does work. And now, after oiling it and moving it around a bit, it seems to tick just fine. Let me get this jury rig back together again. And put the positive onto the motor. Gotta get that in there right. It's a jury rig system, I'll tell you what I got going on. So now I need to hold that on there and level the clock. Oops. And it seems to keep ticking this way most of the time. Like I said, I don't have it exactly level or anything else, but it is ticking away. So at this point, I'd say more than likely this movement needs to be cleaned. It does have a whole bunch of plastic gears in there, and I was kind of worried that the plastic gears might be wore out or broke or whatever. So I guess I need to put this back into the clock, get it running, and see if the hands move as well, because it's a little hard holding this and having the jury rig battery here. This is out of my flashlight. Getting that thing to work on here and holding everything just right. Before I couldn't get the tick at all, but like I say, I went ahead and put oil wherever I could find the gears coming through. This side was the worst because all this stuff on here. Oh, and I wanted to mention too, when I took this off, I didn't take pictures, which I probably should have before I started doing anything. This here I had to take off because I had to straighten this arm because it was buckled. And the reason why it's buckled is this is turned backwards, and this does have kind of an arrow shape, so it's supposed to slip by here so you can turn it backwards, but that's just a safeguard that doesn't work all the time. So you should never take your clocks, I don't care if they say turn them backwards or not, don't do it. You're better off to take the battery out if that's what it is that operates it, or stop the pendulum and wait till the proper hour comes around. You can bring it forward. In fact, you can bring it forward, in my opinion, until 12 o'clock, and at 12 o'clock let your clock cuckoo, chime, whatever it does, finish it, so that way it gets this bar back up and out of the way so this can go by, and then finish on setting your time again. So let me get this back into the, getting back to this, I had to take that off. There's a spring, you can't really see it, but it's right here on the shaft of this, and the spring wire is curled around the frame, and it comes up and comes through here, and that's to help this drop when it's needed. I didn't notice it. I noticed something fell off, and I took this E-clip out and pulled this off. And what was that? And I found the spring, and it didn't really have any special bends, except this one end looked like it curled around the frame. So I stuck it back on there, and it seems to be doing good there. So anyway, let me put this jury rig thing back into the case, and we'll see what goes on from there. Now I did want to mention on here, this does have a slip clutch in it, and so the slip clutch might be something that the people are having a problem with to get the ticking to go on. And the way to fix that is you have this hanging on the wall and it stops ticking. Hold down your pendulum a little bit and move it over. You might not feel the little bit of a tug, but try tugging it and seeing where it is and try the tick-tock going on. And if that doesn't work after a couple tries moving it one way, move it over, pull it towards the other way until you can get the thing to tick-tock like it's supposed to. So again, I'll show you. You want to level your clock on the wall. I don't know if you can hear the tick-tock or not, but I can tip it, it stops. I bring it back over and it's going again. Once this is level on the wall, if it stops, hold on to your pendulum from down below and pull it just a little bit. It's a very light hit. Now it's not working, but if I tip my clock right, it starts working, but it's crooked as heck right now, so like I said, it's up inside here is a slip clutch, and as long as it's moving, you should be fine. So as you've seen, I haven't taken this movement apart to clean it or anything else, but if you're having any electrical issues on here, such as a cuckoo bird not working, there are contacts that if you were to spin the hand up on the front, you'll see that when it's ready to cuckoo, this lever lifts up, which has two metal prongs, we'll say, and that's what's controlling, telling the clock to put power to the motor. And the motor, the only thing it does is operates the cuckoo bird itself. And then it's got the blue wire that comes over. Like I said, I haven't taken this apart, but I'm sure that blue wire comes over to activate the pendulum, and which I'm sure is probably making some kind of a magnetism thing or something in order to get that thing to tick like it is. I haven't got a new battery box for it yet. It does cuckoo, but then it slows way down because the batteries I have in there are almost dead anyway. And this door needs to be adjusted. It could have been because I bent it funny. So I would say the main reason why that clock, the time didn't move, is because the slip clutch that maybe nobody knew about. Like I say, all you have to do is just pull it a little bit further over, let it go, and you can kind of tell right away, or it'll stop right away until you realize maybe you got to pull it just a little bit the other way, and then really listen, because it's hard to hear that clock ticking, but you can hear it, and well, if you can hear and try to get as even of a tick-tock as you can on it, and that will control the hands moving on there. And like I say, the adjustment on that pendulum there is what's going to do your speed for you. Anyway, I hope that helps anyone that has this type of clock. It's my first on a battery clock. And like I say, the motor, the only thing that's there for is the Cuckoo part of it itself. It does have another wire going off of it that's a blue wire, and that's, like I say, what will control, I'm going to guess, some kind of a magnet type situation to cause that clock to keep ticking. Just like your battery clocks, I would imagine. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video for what I did show and got the clock working again. And until next time, God bless. And oh, don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Subscriptions are free.